this process is that when the parents apply, when you effectively saying these are the 3 schools I'm applying for, you are saying to us that you are happy that your child can go to any one of these schools. That's what you are saying to us. So when we place your child in any one of those schools, we are complying to what you have said to us, that you are comfortable with any of these 3 or 4 schools. And you find that some parents, for them, is an assumption that it's just a compliance process. It's not a compliance process. It's a process that says to us that you are happy with those set schools, and those schools, your child can go to either of those schools. So we have done that. We have placed those learners into those particular schools, and they've come back and said, this is not what I want. That's not a school that they preferred. So I will get to the issues of appeal with regard to this matter. We are busy with transfers. The key issues that affect transfers is, firstly, you have parents that have applied for schools based on using their work address. Parents that have applied, that have not full siblings, correct? And their home address, thank you. Yes. So that process itself is a 30-kilometer radius from the home or 30 kilometers beyond. Now, how we deal with that process, we look at, firstly, it's not about how quick or early you have applied, because there was an assumption that when you arrive early in the morning, then it's a first come, first serve. We don't do that. We don't use that as a criteria. We look at the home address as, I'm saying, siblings, work, 30 kilometers or beyond 30 kilometers. The issue of the 30 kilometers is just a transformation. It's for transformation purposes. We don't have schools that we call them a white school. We don't have a white school in our province or a black school. We have schools in our province, and eligibility for learners should be considered as such. So the 30 kilometers. So what happens is that parents apply using their their work address, but when you look at the utility, you find that the school are nearer to their home is where the space is available. Find that parents, for instance, where we are in Parktown, they work in Parktown, they'll want their children to come to Parktown, but you find that Parktown, you will see in terms of our high pressure schools, is also one of the high pressure schools. There is no space. So when we place them closer to their school or closer to their home address. That's how the transfer process will work, and it's working currently. Because we look at schools where their spaces are available. So that's with regard to the current placement. We have 313 high pressure schools, primary schools, and 234 high pressure secondary schools. In the past, the system, once it reached its maximum, it would black out in the previous year. But based on some of the concerns that were raised by the schools, amongst those is that the system might say that we are full, but most of those who would have applied, maybe they've got incomplete application, they don't comply, and that made it very difficult. So they had requested that let's just not black out any school. Let's allow the process of application to continue either way. And you will see this by the numbers we give with regard to high pressure schools. These are the list of the 10 high pressure schools in the province. Like I said, there are 313 in the province primary schools. large school Acacia, you can see based on the capacity, it's got 255, and it has had 1,538 applications. The list is outlined there, you can see. So we do have a contingency plan with regard to the high pressure schools. I will get to it later. High schools, you can see, as I've said, Parktown Boys High is also it's in the top 3 as a high pressure school, 2328, like I've said, and look at the space capacity is 152 space. So, and these are the factors I was talking about, that parents work around here in Parktown, and ordinarily they would have wanted their children to come to school so that they can drop them in the morning and leave with them in the afternoon. So these are some of the examples. As you can see, the high pressure schools in our province, Hoër School, Pretoria North, Langehoven, 2,600 with a capacity of 300, and North Cliff High, number 10, with 1,900 applications for 270 spaces. So we do have these high pressure schools. So there are over 200 of them. So interventions that we will be putting in place, they'll be multi-pronged to assist them. We'll be looking to give them mobile units, mobile classrooms, so that they can create more space. We do have a program of self-build where we'll be giving schools money to ensure that they build additional classroom capacity. We have already started with that process of transferring money to schools so that they can start with that process to build additional classrooms, as well as mobile. So it will multi-pronged. So with this process, we are looking to avail around 599 additional classrooms for primary schools and 698 additional classrooms for secondary schools. And this is not for only high pressure schools that you see here, also other schools that might not necessarily be extremely high pressure. So it's a broad, the number is quite broad. Then those numbers are just to highlight that they are preferred schools by parents, and parents need to bear with us that as much as they would have preferred certain schools, because of capacity, we would have loved, I'm sure the school would have loved to have all those learners placed in their school. But because of limited school capacity, they could not be placed in those schools. On objections and appeals, I've said earlier that when the parent applied for a set schools, 3 of them or 5 of those schools, you were telling us that you are happy with your child being placed in those schools. So those parents do not have a right to object or appeal. We're not saying don't write to us. Maybe you want to write to us, it's okay. We would love to read your letter. But however, your appeal will not be considered, because you told us that you are happy with any of those 3 or 4 schools that you have applied for. So we will not be acting outside your own mandate. Secondly, objections must be done within 7 days. Those who will be eligible to object are those who will be transferred to schools that they would not have applied for. Those are the parents that will be, objections or appeals that will be considered. So they only have 7 days to object. To object the placement offer, the transfers. All objections will be judged on merit. There are a number of factors. We are not saying that when you object, your concern will not. It will be heard. the merit varies. You find that if we've placed your child in a school far from you, and there are no scholar transport or any other measures in place for your learner to go, your child to go to that school, those are some of the merits we'll be looking at. So they vary. It's multiple factors. So we will be looking at every single objection with its own merit, and it will be given in a response. So all those appeals will be done and responded to within between 14 and 21 days of receipt. So one important factor, the decision of the appeal as signed by the MEC will be final. Once the MEC signs it off and we give you that response, there is no other recourse. So it should be known as such. So, but what is important to assure parents is that those who will be objecting, and we will be considering objections based on their merit, and they will be given due consideration, and we will be looking to support you as much as possible. We do have a problem of incomplete applications. They're still there. That includes valid proof of address. The system is connected with Home Affairs. Some of the IDs, Home Affairs system could not confirm, and they are also considered as incomplete. So for those who, and these ones also fall under the category of those that are writing currently, sending myself emails, sending myself WhatsApp, that they've not received SMSs. This process will be dealt with from the 1st until the 15th of December. That's where we'll begin to deal with these learners that their parents have submitted an incomplete application. So this one will finalize. We will be finalized. We are opening for late applications from the 20th of December up to the 20th of January. You know that Gauteng it's a province where we have a lot of in-migration, and you'll find that some parents will be bringing their children to the province. So we are opening this process for them largely, and for those that who might have missed the deadline, the first process, they will be given an opportunity to apply. So the dates are there, 20th of December this year, 2022, up to the 20th of January 2023 for grade 1 and grade 8. So the online system will be open for those late applicants. The contact details are there. You can call us. We have a hotline number. It's outlined there, 0800 000 789. We have a WhatsApp line. We've got emails. You can contact us on our social media platform. We do open our social media platform, your inboxes. They will be responded to. We have a team that's working around the clock, as well as our website, to ensure that the response to all the issues that parents will be placing on these particular platforms. So those are the details there. So overall, in conclusion, is to say all learners or all applicants will be placed in our school at the beginning of the school year. The learner will have a chair, will have a desk, will have the tools. Learner teacher support material will be in place. They'll have an educator in front of them, and will be ready for schooling to provide them with quality education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. Now we can take clarity-seeking questions from the MEC, and the HOD is there. Okay, it will be you, Heidi. Is that the only one? Okay, let's go. That's yes.
Thank you. It's Heidi Jockers from ENCA. I just want to ask in terms of that school in Vlakfontein. So the learners say that they don't have furniture to sit on. And that's part of the reason why there's... What's wrong? Okay, Heidi Jockers from ENCA. I just want to ask about that school in Vlakfontein. So the learners say that they don't have furniture to sit on, and that's also part of the reason why there's a lot of fighting that's happening. Are you aware of this, and how do learners not have furniture to sit on? Apparently, people stand while they're writing exams. And secondly, what's happening with the principal there? Because I understand that he's not been suspended yet. Why? Thank you.
okay. I think we'll close it there then. Let me see.
Take the furniture.
Yeah, that's the furniture.
Let me deal with the furniture issue, because it does not only affect Vlakfontein, it affects many of our schools. Annually, the department provides for additional number of learners that we get in schools, school furniture. But what surprises us is, even when we do that, you find that in the middle of the year, a school comes to us and asks for 1,000 chairs, 1,000 desks. It may not be applicable directly to Vlakfontein, but I'm talking of a phenomenon that we have identified, and it could also be extended to Vlakfontein. So we have since formed the view and have seen that there's a whole lot of vandalism of school furniture that would have happened. And when that happens, unfortunately, we can only supply to the budget that you have in a particular year. So ordinarily, we would want school governing bodies to repair the furniture that gets broken during the year. But we also equally ask young people who are in our schools to take care of that furniture. We have also noted that there were instances where furniture has developed legs. Some chairs have developed legs and it goes out. We buy furniture here, then the next week, that entire classroom has got no furniture. So we ask ourselves, what are communities doing with the furniture? Where does it end up? And it is in that context that there may be instances where you find that a school may not have adequate furniture, but it does not mean the department would not have supplied that furniture. The problem is that something happened at the side of the community in respect of that furniture. And I think we want to send that message to all communities to take care of our schools. As a matter of fact, when schools close, in Gauteng, we even get worried about the level of vandalism that happens in our schools. And I'm sure it is something that we would want to elevate, that in our communities, let's make sure that our schools are safeguarded. Maybe the MEC will talk to the principal issue, because he's giving direction on that one.
Okay. No, thank you, HOD. We will look into that. We can't just say why the principal not suspended. We've got laws that govern the labor. So we will look into the issue of the principal, and if there are where we feel that he has erred, there will be action upon. But so far, we've had the concerns. We've gone to that community, we've gone to the school. There's quite a number of accusations that were leveled against him. So we're busy investigating them. Upon the conclusion of that, then we'll take a necessary action. Remember, we are not in the process of, like in the private sector. I'm sure in ENCA they can just decide to fire you tomorrow, and then there's no fundamental implication. But we are governed by laws, and we have to look at all the merits in place. And first, we'll have to see if we can assist. If the principal has a problem that we can help with, that's where we start. We will be looking first to see how we can assist so that the principal can come back and do their works properly, complete their duties properly. So we are looking into it. There's a process in place, and a decision will be made very soon with regard to the principal. But what is important about Kalabucha, and it's one of those schools that are in the hotspot areas for crime. The Flag Point area, you know, that Fine Town, they've been in the media of late with regard to some shooting incidences. So you could get a sense that, in fact, schools, just to put it this way, schools are very receptive to the immediate community. If you want to know the state of the community, the first place to start is the school. You know, it could tell what is the current situation in the community, and most of the problems are outside the school, but they do find themselves filtering into our schools. And that's what the situation in Vlakfontein, in Kalabucha. And it's not the Kalabucha, Vlakfontein area alone. We do have quite a number of areas in our communities across the province where we do have similar challenges. So hence the community becomes integral part to ensure that we get our schooling right. We get the process of ensuring that we are able to discharge our duties correctly. So that partnership, collective partnership between the schools and the community becomes central. Yeah.
Thanks very much, MEC, HOD. I think we are done with our press briefing because we could not see any of the questions that were coming online, so it means we are covered. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much.
Okay, we're coming out of that media briefing now with the Gauteng Education MEC. Of course, taking this time to address a bevy of issues there ahead of the 20.
Very